magic in your backyard. Go and find it!
We'll head around to all the towns, head away, holiday. South Aussie with Cosi's on sit down. South Aussie with Cosi.
We're into another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. It's a TV show all about getting you passionate about South Australia, getting you travelling in South Australia, and doing whatever I can to personally make South Australia a better place. Like out here on Port Wakefield Road. Me old mate the cockroach, he ran into a little bit of trouble a while back. He ended up in a scrapyard at Two Wells. So, for 2 slabs of Cooper's beer, I bought him off the bloke there with the help of a few local lads, including Steve and Kevin and Pratty. We resurrected him, and now he's on a mound here to live forever and a day. So, before we step any further, we better see what's on the show. I'll convince you to never drive straight through Port Augusta again, and we meet Quorn resident Gladys. Have a look at her, 105 years old.
Well, I'm going to be 106 this year.
Wow. But first, I've left the leader of the opposition home with the kids, and I'm off on a boys' trip. Could this be the ultimate boys' trip in South Australia? 20 blokes through some of the prettiest country in Outback SA, from Adelaide to Alice Springs, and right now we're just outside of Wilpena Pound. But best of all is the mode of transport. Check out the wheels. Touring Outback South Australia has been made super easy thanks to SA Tourism. What they've done is they've designed the best self-drive touring routes around South Australia, complete with all you need to know about accommodation, eating locations and more. Self-drive holidays are among the fastest growing in our tourism sector, and I reckon rightly so. You see, you get to choose your own adventure and you do it at your own pace. Road trips are awesome. SA Tourism has 5 touring routes to choose from, and today I've chosen the Explorer's Way. This is where you can journey through the heart of Australia's outback. So I've joined a boys' trip with 20 lads, and away we go. Trip organiser Greg Neck tells me why taking self-drive holidays is so important.
You get back to basics. You have to get out of your comfort zone. We go through this day and age, we're all very, very, very busy. I think you need to sit back sometime and take a deep breath, and certainly to start communicating with some of your mates, some of your friends that you haven't seen for a long time. And it's important that we take this time out.
You betcha, Greggy boy. The drive from Blinman to Parachuna is really something else. It's dirt road, but it's a pretty good dirt road. Unbelievable scenery. Brings you to this place, Parachuna. Now, there's not much here, but it's famous for one thing. That's the pub behind us. The Prairie Hotel is loaded with character. They've got the best brekkie burgers as well. Hey, keep your eyes out when you're in Outback SA for our floral emblem, the Sturt Desert Pea. My Facebook buddy Cherie Gaston sent me in a photo she took back in 07. Have a look at the Sturt Desert Peas. Wow. This photo got like 5,000 likes on my Facebook page. It's a ripper. It was taken near Roxby Downs. The Sturt Desert Peas don't only come in just red. These photos are also from near Roxby, and have a look at that. Totally different colours than what you think you might find when you're looking for Sturt Desert Peas. On this trip up north, our mode of transport was very, very unique. Simon Neck from the Adelaide Hills, he tells us about the Volvos.
We've got 2 Volvos, one being a 4-wheel drive, the other being a 6-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive's been in the family for 30 odd years. We spent about, restoring it was a process probably over 10 years. The 6-wheeler, I just happened to stumble over it when I was looking for parts for the 4-wheeler. And it was a buy that was too good to refuse at the time. I found it on a military vehicle website, and it came from Scotland. So I contacted the chap and I sent him an email asking about the logistics of getting it over. He'd done it before. Next thing we knew, it was on the boat and it landed, and I showed my wife that we had a new family wagon.
We kept following the Explorers Way, and next up we came across Lee Creek, which is 560 kilometres from Adelaide. It was here we had our first of many breakdowns.
South Australia never ceases to amaze me. I'm always finding new things. Now, we're not that far out of Maree, and I found a place I didn't even know existed. It's called Farina. Believe it or not, there is a bakery out here. It first started in 1888, and they're still baking today. That is amazing.
I live up in Alice Springs, and we've got some gorgeous country around Alice Springs, but I'm just absolutely blown away with the Flinders Ranges. That was our first day. We went up through Rawnsley Park and down through Parachilna Gorge, and it is, you know, if you live in South Australia and you haven't been to the Flinders, well, I tell you what, it's probably the best kept secret South Australia's got.
You might have noticed the touring route they call the Explorers Way is peppered with some of the best Outback pubs you'll ever come across. And here's another one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Maree Hotel. Now, the gang up here sent me a few photos the other day, and geez, they made me laugh. First up, how good's this? A dog just relaxing in the pub. Does it get any more Australian than this? And some tourists thought that when they blew a tyre on the caravan, they would just keep driving all the way till they got to the Maree Hotel. That's what it'll do to your tyres, folks.
Cheers, mate.
Maree was originally named after the German botanist Joseph Hergot. It was called Hergot Springs. But when World War I hit, like most places that had a German name here in South Australia, the name got changed and Hergot Springs became Maree, which is actually apparently Aboriginal for possum.
I like possums.
The railway line was the lifeline for Maree, and of course they built a railway station. The problem was they built the first one out of wood and it sadly burnt down. How's this photo that Joe from Faded Memories sent me? It's of a head-on crash just outside of Maree in 1943. Amazingly, nobody died. Coming up next, we continue travelling the Explorers Way, and I'll swing past William Creek to grab some cheap petrol at $2.25 per litre. That's not a bargain.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Welcome back, folks. I'm encouraging everybody to bring back the great South Australian road trip. And this is where it gets really good, because SA Tourism, using these maps, have made it really easy for you guys. What they've done is they've identified 5 key touring routes around the state. We today are doing the Explorers Way. So you go to the map, it says Explorers Way, and you just press on these buttons. It's all mapped out. We've been to the Prairie Hotel. We've pushed on to Lee Creek and Maree, and when you want more information on these stops, all you need to do is just press it and boom, there it is. It tells you where to go, what's there, phone numbers, the works. These touring maps make it dead easy to travel around South Australia.
The roads are just unbelievable. Yeah, you've got to give it to South Australia. Their roads are very well maintained, and you don't need a four-wheel drive to do it. You just need to pack the family and away you go.
We've rolled into Kurdi Merker, famous for the Kurdi Merker Ball, which has gone on for years. I don't even know if it still runs. It was massive. Now, I'll say this, I reckon probably less than 10% of South Australians have actually been to this part of Outback South Australia. But I say, why not? You know, to camp here, completely free, and there is hundreds of thousands of square kilometres you can camp, and you don't have to pay a cent, and that makes for a really cheap holiday. It's solid gold once you get used to the flies, which are absolutely woeful. There's one other really good thing that's happening right now. As I'm filming this, do you know what I'm getting out of? Setting up.
The flies took off as the sun went down, and we did what every South Aussie should be doing more often, and that is sitting around the campfire telling stories with mates and loved ones. Outback folk call the campfire the bush telly, and I love it because it's so mesmerising. How awesome is it just staring at a campfire? Give me that over a 60-inch plasma any day.
Aussie fella.
Self-drive holidays are all about doing whatever you want. I love the pace of them. We've followed the Explorer's Way touring route from Adelaide up north. We're taking the path less travelled, and we're going to go up the Old Ghan Railway Line. For a couple of blokes on our trip, the Old Ghan Railway Line has a really special meaning.
The Ghan's important to me is because my dad was born in Port Augusta in 1929 and came up on the first Ghan back in 1929. So I guess that's really one of the reasons why we come up along the Ghan track. Not only that, as kids we travelled in the Ghan, the Old Ghan, coming down to Adelaide on our annual holidays. It's a bit of history that's still there. Unfortunately, a lot of the sidings have been let go. And of course, you can understand that the economics just don't add up to it.
The first time I ever came up here to William Creek, they only had a population of 3. It was one married couple and a guy up the road. It makes it really easy to work out who your wife's having an affair with, eh? The population might be low, but fuel prices aren't. We filled up here at $2.25 a litre. Ouch!
Something you don't see in the tourism brochures is the flies in the Outback. Look at them. I'll see how many I can catch. Watch this. There are literally thousands of them. Wow.
This is the Algie Buckner Bridge, which was opened back in 1892 and is located between William Creek and Oodnadatta. It highlights how amazing the building of the Ghan Railway Line was. To think they built this bridge. It is the largest single bridge in South Australia, and 350 men were employed to build the bridge over a number of years at a cost of £60,000. Wow, what an achievement. Now, back in the day, I used to play footy for the Roseworthy College Pink Panthers, and we were the only AFL footy club in Australia that actually had pink on the Guernsey. I was thinking that we should have come up here for one of our footy trips because Oodnadatta simply loves pink.
This town is loaded with character. It's Oodnadatta, famous for its pink roadhouse. They've invested about $1,000 to paint the roadhouse and it becomes famous because it's bright pink. How cool. Most people from here chuck a lefty over that way. We're going to head straight north because from here we're following the Old Ghan Railway Line. It's a road that not many people do, so I just can't wait to see this part of South Australia.
We were joined on this bush trip by Nathan Dyer from R.M. Williams magazine, who took some cracking photos of Outback South Australia. Jeez, have a look at that. He even did a bit of a group shot of the lads on a sand dune. Never underestimate the importance of spending time with your friends. I say it all the time. You never hear someone that's laying on their deathbed saying they wish they'd spent more time in the jolly office. Go out, hang out with your mates and take some time off. So, while you're alive, my friends, just go and choose one of the 5 SA touring routes, like we did, the Explorer's Way, in Outback South Australia, and just get amongst it.
Have you ever wondered what the top of South Australia looks like before you hit the Northern Territory border? Well, I can tell you, it looks like this. Now I'm going to leave you guys here, we're going to push on to Alice Springs, but if you want more information about touring Outback South Australia, go to southaustralia.com. We'll see you next time.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
I owe Port Augusta an apology. Yep, for years I've been driving straight past, yet now my eyes have been opened to how awesome it is inside the town of Port Augusta. Mayor Sam Johnson tells me all about a Port Augusta must visit.
The Arid Botanical Gardens is probably one of our favourite little places, which we've developed as a council, as a city as well, which we've done over the last 20 years. Although it was originally established with the help of the old Western Mining Corporation and up at Olympic Dam. And the idea of that was to create, instead of your typical nice English gardens you see and you travel around the countryside, we identified that we were an arid area. So we decided to do exactly what, say, the Adelaide Botanical Gardens do, but natural to our landscape. So we developed the Arid Botanical Gardens, and it's a fantastic area. It's massive parcel of land.
This is the Australian Arid Lands Botanic Gardens. It's about 1.2 kilometres north of Port Augusta, the city itself, on the Stewart Highway. The garden is a 250 hectare site. People can come out and have a look at how you can use the native plants in a home garden situation. We're also just developing a new bush food walk, so people will be able to go through an immersion path in a bush food zone and look, touch, taste and smell the plants in that area.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those around. Okay.
And there's a fantastic cafe and visitor information centre out there as well, where you can actually just sit and really take in the ambience of the garden.
People can come in and taste really good local produce and bush foods and things like that. Things like bush flavoured ice creams like wild desert lime and quandong and things like that. They also focus on a real local produce as far as wines and Spencer Gulf seafood, Clare Valley wines, and also here in the gift shop we sell native plants and we have a lot of lovely local produce we source from Australian, South Australian, local where possible, and also we like to have an environmentally friendly or sustainable sort of theme as well.
Something that I think is super cool for families to do, or couples, or even by yourself, is to plant your own tree. Now, I've been meaning to do this with my kids for the last 12 months. Finally today, I'm going to buy these 5 trees, one for each family member, and we're going to plant them somewhere between Adelaide and Kadina, and then just watch them grow. They're all Australian native. It means it's great for the environment and great for the birds. Plus, the money from buying these trees supports these guys right here.
The most popular plants would be the Sturt Desert Pea, which is our floral emblem of South Australia, and also another plant called Boronia crenulata, which is a really nice little plant as well, which has been really popular. So, yeah.
Sounds like something you might have caught on a trip to Thailand.
Not quite. No.
The garden is educational as well. We do have interpretive signage, and that sort of has been designed for short stay or long stay. So if you just want to find a little bit about a certain subject, you just read the first section, and then if you're really interested, you can read the whole sign. The Arid Smart Gardens are designed to show you how to save water, what you can do, and you know there's a series of 6 gardens there through a mallee, a desert, a courtyard. So some are really formal and others are really natural. So, and it's really beautiful just to walk through and look at those areas as well. It's free, there's no costs associated with entry fees, that type of thing. The whole family can come and you can actually spend a whole day here. You know, we've got bird hides if you're interested in that out in the outer areas. So it's very popular with bird watchers. We're one of the top 10 sites in Australia. One of the common birds in the garden is the crested pigeon. And in the late 1980s, we did a bird survey with 37 species found on site. And late last year, another survey was done, and we now have around 150 different varieties and species on site within the garden.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Welcome back, folks. I'm talking up the self-drive holidays in SA. Yeah, the road trip. They're the best holidays. So far, we've come from Outback SA, back through Port Augusta, and now home via the beautiful Quorn. Hey, check this bloke out. He's got the gopher, a box of beer between the legs, and 2 dogs. Now I've seen it all. Okay, so we just knocked off, finished filming, got out of the glad rags, ready to drive back from Quorn, come into Emily's Bistro here for a soft drink, one of the Grub South Australian drinks. Then I find out Quorn's having a party without me. Come and check this out. Okay, because I hear Gladys here is 100 and...
Five.
Oh, hey, look at you, John. She's trying to talk up her age.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be 106 this year.
Wow, 105 years of age. And have a look at you. You look about 60.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So how long have you been living in Quorn for?
I've been living in Quorn for about 74 5 years, I reckon.
You're almost a local then, close to, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, we do a show all about work-life balance, and we encourage people to spend more time with their family and friends. You've been around the traps for a long time. Why is it so important?
Oh, I love it. I love Quorn. I wouldn't leave Quorn for all the money in the world. I wouldn't even change my little home for Buckingham Palace.
Really? Hey, and they tell me you're a Crow supporter.
Yeah, I am. I love the crows.
No.
Oh, I love those crows.
And do you know, folks, the best thing about being 105 years of age? Gladys, what is the best thing about being 105?
Oh, I don't feel 105, really.
That's the Scotch talking. I reckon the best thing about being 105 years of age is there's no peer pressure. What about people? I bet people that are watching right now think to themselves, wow, how do you get to 105? What would your advice be to someone that wants to live that long?
Oh, well,
What do you eat? What do you drink?
well, I don't only drink water and a bit of stout.
Oh, hey, did you get a letter from the Queen?
Yeah, I got 2.
Did you?
And 2 photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, you're starting to get a bit greedy in your old age, aren't you?
But she had the same dress on every time.
Oh.
I thought perhaps I better send her one of mine.
All right, well, best of luck. Great meeting you, and thanks for letting me come and visit
Yeah.
Quorn.
Oh, thank you.
Geez, I love Gladys. What an absolute star. Well, I'm off, folks. I'll catch you on the road somewhere. Be careful, be safe, and get out and explore South Australia.
South Australia we will go, head away, holiday.
Oh, I love those crows.
South Aussie with Cosi is proudly brought to you by the South Australian Tourism Commission.
South Aussie with Cosi.
I like possums.